Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your host Kim.
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage,
Pull up a comfy chair.
because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 41 of A Double and Dice. And today, continuing our series on female characters in Dice Masters. I almost forgot the name there, Jocelyn.
How dare you?
I know. So this is our third character that we are doing. And if you've noticed, we are going back and forth between Marvel and DC. Because I don't even know if there's actually... Well, there's females in D&D.
Sure there are.
Yeah.
And one of these days we'll get into that, but lore.
But today, it's DC's turn. No, it's back to Marvel. We're back to Marvel.
We are back to Marvel.
Yeah, we're talking about a character who's Canadian.
Yay.
Yep. And there is a male version to her as well. And I know.
No, I'm
We're
just kidding.
talking about Sasquatch.
Yay.
Yay. Oh, Canada.
You're hilarious. So, Sasquatch.
Yeah.
So the female Sasquatch, as you may know, is named Heather Mcdaniel. And what's interesting about Heather Mcdaniel Sasquatch is that she is not from Earth 616, which is the main Marvel universe. She's from Earth 3470. She's from an alternate Earth. Did you know that, Kim?
Wait, does that mean there's 3,174 Earths? Is that what that means? Like, I don't know what
3,470 Earths? 3470.
Is that what it means by when it says Earth 616 and Earth 31? Is that just how many numbers there are? That's a lot.
They're different timelines, different multiverses. I don't know.
I know, it's crazy.
Can someone tell us? If you're out there, tell us, please.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah,
as
right
we record.
now. No, just, I think that's what it is. It's like the multiverse, Kim.
Right.
I think that's what it is. So,
okay.
Sasquatch is part of a fancy Canadian team. They're called Alpha Flight.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! She's also part of a team called the Exiles, which is the X on her Dice Masters card.
Yes, her affiliation.
Yeah, that's the one. Not X-Men. That's something different. This is not X-Files. That's a TV show from the 90s. Exiles. Yes. Exiles. Exiles. Mm-hmm. So, Heather McDaniel is a doctor. Did you know that, Kim?
Of?
Sciencey stuff.
Okay.
So
it seems like they're all doctors.
Well, I mean, I guess the idea is that sciencey doctor types get, curious and start experimenting and somehow end up with superpowers. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says here that Heather was conducting an experiment on holes in the ozone layer located in the Arctic. So very environmentally savvy, right? And I'm just going to pull up here. Her first appearance was actually in 2002. So she's a relatively new character. So ozone layer, holes, Arctic science. An accident resulted in the opening of a portal to a realm called of the Great Beast, where the creature known as Tanarak gave her fantastic powers, but vowed one day to take possession of her body, and these memories were erased from her mind, and she believed that she got her powers from exposure to gamma radiation, which is what happened to the Hulk, I believe. Gamma rays, right?
I think so.
With the abilities that she received as a result of this great beast, Tanarak, she was invited to join the Alpha Flight team. And her first assignment was to capture the wild man who was roaming the Canadian wilderness, and the wild man turned out to be Logan, aka Wolverine, who is also Canadian. And Kim's favorite.
For Orbital Strike.
So it says here that Sasquatch and Wild Man stayed with Alpha Flight, and eventually they got married. So in Earth 3470, Wildman, aka Wolverine, and Heather Hudson, aka Sasquatch, got married. And Alpha Flight became a major force throughout the world, but things would eventually deteriorate. Apparently, Logan went insane because there was a chip in his adrenal gland. Heather tried to reason with him, but in the end, she was forced to kill her husband after he had murdered many of their friends. So that's kind of dark.
Mm.
It's a little dark, Kim.
So does it actually say anything of like how she actually turns into the beast? Like what triggers her to turn into the beast?
No.
Or
No, I haven't seen anything like that. I think she just has these powers that were given to her by the Tanorak, but it doesn't seem like it has a trigger from what we've been able to learn
she could
from
like do it herself.
marvel.fandom.com and comicvine.gamespot.com are very important sources. So a couple of things here. So she was devastated by having to kill her husband, but eventually she met James Hudson, and he was able to draw her out of her shell, and that's how she becomes Heather Hudson, which I believe is one of the subtitles on her Dice Masters card.
Mm-hmm. And also has another name in one of her subtitle cards that you talked about.
Yeah, Tanorak, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says here that a couple of things have happened to Heather. She was ripped from her reality by a mysterious man known as the Time Broker, and then it says that she became unhinged from time, and she would have to help fix the broken chains of reality. If she didn't help, Hudson would be burned to death in a tragic accident. So that's kind of a horrible storyline. She's not really very, these storylines are kind of dark. However, she would help the Exiles complete many missions. After joining the Exiles team, she fought with a vampire version of the Avengers. Sasquatch and Morph, who's another exile, were dropped off into a reality at the exact moment that reality's Wolverine escaped from the Weapon X program. It says here that Wolverine tracked Sasquatch, but before they could fight, Heather reverted to her human form, and Wolverine stopped dead in his tracks. Heather was teleported away and reunited with the Exiles. So that would be weird, right? Like, here's a guy that in your reality is dead, and he was your husband, and you killed him, and then all of a sudden he's in front of you. That would be really...
she went through a lot.
Yeah. It says here that in another mission with the Exiles, she was mortally wounded by her teammate Magic. That Heather had saved Nocturne's life by pushing her out of the way of Magic's sword. Nocturne possessed Heather and transformed her into Sasquatch, allowing her healing powers to kick in. So Sasquatch must have magical healing powers.
Right.
This article is missing a lot of information.
Maybe people will fill in the gaps for us.
Hopefully. So she finally found out that her power was not from gamma radiation, but actually that great beast of the north, Tanorak, and Alpha Flight's shaman was able to help save her, but she lost her ability to transform into Sasquatch, at which point she started working as mission control for the Alpha Flight team, or the Exiles team, I'm not sure. Exiles. So yeah. So what do we know here? We know that she can take on the form of Canada's legendary creature, Sasquatch. Did you know it was our legendary creature, Kim?
I did not.
I think we're bad Canadians.
When it comes to comics.
Yeah. She has a regenerative healing factor, which we heard about, right? Because they were able to transform her from a human to Sasquatch to save her life. She's got superhuman stamina, strength, and durability, and superhuman senses. Her sense of smell is so developed that she can discern the diet of a creature by the smell of their excrete.
Breath?
No, by their poop.
Okay.
So anyway, but she has there we go. This is her doctorate. She's an MD, and she has a PhD in genetics and robotics. So she's pretty smart. So yeah. So that's Sasquatch, aka Heather Mcdaniel, aka Heather Hudson.
There we go. So I guess Mcdaniel was her original name then.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, because if she married Wolverine, I guess she never took his name then,
Did
right?
Logan have a last name?
Yeah, isn't his name actually like
Oh,
Hose
James
Howlett
Howlett.
or something like that?
Yeah, but this is a different Logan, right? This is Logan
Oh,
from a different
true.
um
World,
different world. Yeah,
time,
that's the world we're talking
multi-universe.
about. So she has the ability to transform herself, essentially.
Nice. Into this great beast.
Yeah, until she loses it after being mortally wounded.
Hmm.
And she killed her first husband and had some trouble. I wonder why she had to have so many husbands.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, she got married twice.
Mm-hmm. Well, her first husband died, so she found someone else.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, it's not like it's a big storyline that I'm aware of that
Mm.
like this male comic character gets married. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know there are some out there, right? Like,
Yeah.
obviously the first one that comes to mind is Reed Richards and Sue Storm, right? Sue Richards. Um, they got married. I think in one of the comics, like Spider-Man married Mary Jane and things like that. But generally, you don't hear much about men and their marriages in comics.
Oh, you mean like the reverse way? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So I
Huh.
don't know what to think about that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these articles that we have here, because they're very abbreviated, and I'm assuming that's because A, Sasquatch is a new character, B, probably because she's Canadian, um, but and C, she's a female character that has been relatively newer. There's just not as much fleshed out about her, and the fact that she's not from the main Earth maybe makes a difference as well.
Maybe we don't know
So
much about her. I guess I don't know.
yeah. So we would love to know what you know about Sasquatch. Are you familiar with Alpha Flight? Are you familiar with her from Exiles? What is your favorite story about Sasquatch? Are there more pleasant ones than the ones that are covered in the wiki? Like, let us know. We would love to hear that if you know anything about it. So,
Cool.
all right, let's head over to our main purpose of this episode, Kim, and talk about her cards.
Yeah. Well, she only has three.
Okay.
A common, an uncommon, and a rare. All from the X-Men First Class set.
Yay.
Her cost for all of them is a 5 cost fist, and they all have the affiliations of exiles. And her first one, her common version, is called Heather Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
And the ability is while Sasquatch is attacking after blockers are declared, deal 1 damage to each blocking die.
That's not a bad ability, Kim.
No, I mean, she's blocked by a psychic. I mean,
Well, she doesn't have to be blocked. It's just after blockers are declared.
After blockers are declared, yeah.
So if she attacks and anyone blocks, then that person takes 1 die. So throw a seething corruption in there, and boom.
And away we go.
But I guess that would fall into the once blocked, always blocked.
Right. But I wonder if you gave her overcrush. I guess all her overcrush damage would still go through, no?
It would indeed, yes.
Yeah. But then she would come back to the field because nothing was blocking her anymore.
Yeah, she wouldn't go through if something was blocking her.
Right.
Even if the blocking die was KO'd in the blocking window, because it would be, if we think about our turn order, Kim, attack step, declare attackers, resolve effects that occur due to attacking, declare blockers, resolve effects that occur due to blocking, move into the tag out window.
Yes, after blockers are declared.
Yeah. And or infiltrate window.
Right.
Both of those things happen at the same time. If there are no blockers, you can infiltrate, and then you move into globals and actions, right?
Yeah.
So this would happen in the after blockers are declared step, and before the tag out and global window would happen. So
yeah, as soon as blockers happen,
yeah. So that's the timing there. So yeah, interesting.
Her we'll go to her uncommon, but her stats are not bad.
No, they're really good,
Zero
actually.
033 144 and 166.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah. So not bad fielding cost, and if you get on her high, it's pretty good.
Well, yeah. I mean, 1 to field when you roll her on level 3 is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you mentioned Overcrush, so we'll come back to that.
Yeah. Her uncommon card is when another character die you control spins up a level, spin this character up 1 level.
So that's very thematic with the set, right? Because the set included a lot of Awaken dice.
Yes.
So Awaken happens when you spin a character die up 1 level, you get to use their Awaken effect. But what's interesting is that she doesn't have an Awaken effect, so it
Mm-mm.
just spins her up. So
Yeah.
it feels a little lacking,
Yeah.
maybe for a 5-cost fist.
Unless you're like, no. Yeah, I wouldn't really play this. Even if I wanted to get her to like level 3 or something.
I mean, if you were playing this in draft, I would
Mm-hmm.
pick up a Sasquatch even at a 5 cost because those stats are good and the fielding costs are low.
Yeah.
So I think it's a worthy pickup in a draft because just, in a draft, you have a little bit more combat focus usually, right? Just because it's harder sometimes to sort out your combos, etc.
Yeah, I feel like this one should be like on an Awaken team. If your main priority on your team is spinning up your characters,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then you can, if you really wanted to, put her on there to get her to level 3. And
Yeah,
then
and if
use
we
her in some other way of blocking or maybe overcrushing or unblocked or something like that.
Yeah, and I think if you think about what some of the Awaken effects did in this set, for example, there's the Storm that when you awaken her, you get to re-roll an opposing die. And if it rolls if it rolls an energy phase, it goes to the use pile. So that would remove a blocker. You would spin her up, and then you could push through, right?
Yeah. And this card name was Great Beast. What was it? Tanarak?
That's how I'm pronouncing it.
Sounds about right.
I'll go with it.
Tanarak or Tanarak? Yeah.
Tanarak.
I don't even know. I've never heard of his name before, anyways. Different universe.
Okay.
But that one's okay. That one's okay. So far,
I like the first one better, the common.
Yes. So far, the common is winning. And her rare is called Hulking Beast. And
It's what she turns into when she becomes Sasquatch.
Yep. And it has Overcrush on it.
Yep.
And also, when your opponent uses a global ability, spin Sasquatch up a level.
This one's my favorite.
Yeah, this one. Anything with Overcrush.
Yeah. The Overcrush is good. The stats are almost as good as Becky. The fielding costs are better.
Only for the global.
Hey. Sometimes
Becky,
you just need an Overcrusher. But I would rather play this Overcrush than Becky because it doesn't feel as overpowered.
Right.
It'll make your opponent think twice about potentially using a global ability because you'll spin her up to level 3 eventually very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you give your opponents a whole bunch of global abilities too.
And she's a fist character, right? So with a fist character, a lot of the buff globals are fist globals, right? Anger issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fist global. There's others. I can't think of them right now.
Oh yeah, there's lots of way to buff characters.
Yeah,
in Dice Masters.
There's a lot of them that are fists, is what I'm saying. Fist energy.
Mm.
So you get a fist synergy with that, and it makes sense. It's like she's a hulking beast. She's fighting. She's overcrushing. You know?
Yeah, I think I've played her Overcrush on before.
I don't know that I have, but I would be willing to.
Yeah.
I'd also be willing to try that first one.
Mm-hmm.
The common. I
With
don't
Seething
think
Corruption?
the common's worth it. Pardon?
With Seething Corruption?
Yeah, with Seething Corruption.
No, her uncommon's not worth it.
I don't think so.
Nah.
So what do you folks out there in podcast land think of Sasquatch? Do you think that... have you ever played with any of these cards in or out of draft? And would you build around one of them? Which one would you pick? We'd love to hear from you, and you can let us know any and all of those things, or anything else you'd like to share at all of the places we're going to talk about at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm. Sasquatch. Oh, Canada.
Well, this episode is coming out on Labor Day.
That's true. But we also we share that with the US.
Yeah, I think so.
Just spelled differently.
Well, the U is better.
Labor U Day.
That's right.
All right. So,
yeah.
That's Sasquatch.
It is.
Yeah. She's short and sweet.
Mm-hmm. She's the only time she's ever appeared in the game.
Yeah.
In the X-Men for First Class set.
It's funny because they actually don't have the male version either. So
no,
they only did the female version. So,
and that's kind of interesting that this is the first time that we see Sasquatch and it's the female version. So that's pretty cool.
Unless he didn't go by a different name. They both went by Sasquatch. So
yeah, they both went by Sasquatch.
Yeah. I still don't know his first name or what his name was. So
details.
I think I read it, but I don't remember.
I did too, but we're here to talk about female characters in Dice Masters.
Yep.
So what's next?
Well, we'll dive into the dice bag.
Let's do it.
And start with the YouTubes.
Sure. So we heard from everyone's fave hero, Donnie. Once again, thank you, Donnie, for reaching out consistently after our episodes. He says, hey, shout out to Chris for the lovely jingle at the end. My kids fell asleep to it, haha. And that's kind of a funny joke because there's been this thing going around, I think it was in the Discord, about kids falling asleep. Like, I think it started with actually Nick saying that his baby son fell asleep to listening to, like, maybe it was Mod Extra, the pop culture podcast that Chris and Andy do. And then Chris kind of went with that, and he went onto YouTube and did a little short about, our podcast, Put Your Children to Sleep, as like an ad, essentially. So
maybe he has a nice soothing voice or something.
We'll link that in the show notes. So I think that's what that's calling back to. Donnie continues, I love the X-Men cartoon. When I was younger, I had the whole series on VHS. I'm old, LOL. It's okay, Donnie. I'm old VHSs. Too. He says he's been waiting for his group to do another single affiliation less than 8 game night to try the new gods. He recently got a Mr. Miracle super rare, nice. Which is relevant because we were talking about Big Barda in the last episode. Right? Who
was married to Mr. Miracle.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. Something. All these women have to be married. Anyway. And then I just realized that I clipped that without the entire...
Oh, right, because it says read more.
Yeah, so I didn't click the read more. So there was some comment there about the boomerang. So I'm just going to go and snag the rest of that comment, Kim, while you vamp here for me.
As I what? Rap? Okay.
No, vamp. It just means keep talking so it doesn't look like we don't know what we're doing here.
Oh, we never know what we're doing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so again, I need you to keep talking.
I'll just keep laughing at you.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Yeah, that's okay.
I am having trouble getting to where I need to be.
Would you like me to read it for you?
Did you have it up?
I do.
Well, then say something. Go for it.
I just wanted you to fumble.
Well, clearly, I succeeded.
Okay,
you're up.
So, yes. So right after he said I recently got a Mr. Miracle super rare, he says, I think there is something with him giving things boomerang to get the bigger guys. Yes. So while he's active, your action dice gain boomerang. So boomerang is after you use the action die, you roll the action die, and if it lands on a energy face, it goes to your
action face.
If it lands, I was gonna say it goes to your used pile.
If it lands,
play. I was going it the other way around.
Why would you do that?
Because that's what came to my head first.
Because you have to go backwards.
That's okay. I'll keep people on their toes.
If it rolls on an energy face, it goes to your out of play.
Yes.
And if it rolls on an action face, it goes to your prep area.
Correct. I never was very good with boomerang. It never worked for me. Then he says, I think I'll be trying the common Big Barda on my team.
Okay, cool.
Do we remember what that one was?
Nope.
Oh, do you not have the team builder up?
Do you? No, because I was looking for YouTube.
Okay, so Big Barda's he said the common, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Big Barda's common was, while she's active, your other new god character dice get +2/+2.
Yes. Okay. And I think that was the one we said was probably the best of them.
Yes.
Interestingly, she was a 5-cost fist too.
Yes, she was.
There we go. Maybe we should call this the 5-cost fist
Exact
series.
same stats, except her level 3 cost 2 to field.
Yeah, see? So there you go. Sasquatch is better. Depends on your...
And then he says, I was really surprised to see WizKids released a press release. Okay. I was really surprised to see WizKids released a press release on Dice Masters, and I was a bit bummed that Dark Phoenix isn't next. I pre-ordered mine last November. I'm not so disappointed. But
Well, you're a DC fan.
But the only thing I was excited about in that set would have been Gambit. That's it. And then he probably would have gotten like the worst ability too. But I'm excited to see the new Superman cards. I'm hoping there will be a cool Doomsday. I always kind of liked the 4-cost one that couldn't attack without another villain. And that starfish thing named
Starro.
Yeah, there you go. His name's Starro.
There you go.
The starfish thing seems good. That they spoiled.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm really excited that we're going to get some stuff. I'm really excited that WizKids put out a press release and shared some thoughts with us. Looking forward to getting some new product in 2022, which is not that far away anymore.
No, because today is September 1st while we record this recording.
Yeah, it is. So.
I know. It's almost Christmas time.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
I'm very looking forward to it.
All right. So thanks, Donnie, for sending us some feedback. We also heard from Jackalope Spam. He has surfaced, Kim.
We called him out too much, I think.
Yeah, Nick has surfaced. He has survived. He says getting called out on the podcast, and then he sent like the big sad eyes emoji. Sorry for not keeping up. Haha. It's just been busy recently. We get it, Nick. We were just teasing. It's totally fine. But we're glad that you reached out and caught up, because that's awesome. So he did say that he didn't think he'd played any of the Lady Thors outside of the draft. So She-Thor didn't stick there, Kim. However, Jane Foster to discount Immortals and Hela to make everyone immortal is one of his go-to teams for Ladies' Night events. He says that, or Daisy Johnson with Hulk from Thor, so she's a lady. So I'm familiar with that one. That's the Hulk power of attorney.
Yes.
He also said Big Barda isn't one he's used either. He's at least tried Mr. Miracle, and he usually failed me with Boomerang.
See? It's hard to Boomerang sometimes.
Well, I mean, you have a 50-50 chance.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 action sides, and there are 3 energy sides on a die. So you have a 50-50 chance. I know, right? Yeah. So that is the feedback that we got. So thanks, Nick, for sharing. And I'm glad to hear that there are some ladies that are out there on your teams. But would you put them on a team if it wasn't Ladies' Night? That is my question to you. So
I think I might have a theme for our next Dice Social.
Well, don't spoil it now because we haven't talked about it yet.
I know, I'm not going to spoil it, but
we could talk about that. Okay, so that was all the feedback we got.
And thank you.
And thanks to Donnie and Nick for reaching out and sharing their thoughts. What's happening in the wide world of competitive Dice Masters or non-competitive Dice Masters or casual Dice Masters or anything online, essentially, Kim?
There's always something going on.
There is.
So let's see. We have our regular Tuesday nights, WDA, Weekly Dice Arena, which I'm hosting or co-hosting. Not really co-hosting, helping Ross out. So if he can't make it, I'll host. And we've been doing that Tuesday nights, 9:00. So it's either on Final Ross Battle or dmNorthTV on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thursdays is Dice Fights. That happens at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. That's over in Discord and ran by James. So you can take a look there. He posts all the themes and everything in there. And I think he runs it through the Discord, right? So he doesn't stream or anything.
That's correct.
Yeah. Dice Social already happened for August, but we do have a Dice Social that will come up in September. We haven't set a date yet for it.
And as you just heard, Kim just came up with a theme. So
yeah. Should I say it?
More info to follow. No.
Okay.
We have to talk about it first.
Okay.
More info to follow on Dice Social, but there will be a September Dice Social coming up soon. How did August Dice Social?
Good. It was Orbital Strike.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Mr. Spin did not like Orbital Strike that day, or in two of his games.
Well, that's kind of how it works with Orbital Strike. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. And that makes it fun, right? So, but everybody enjoyed playing that because I think a few of them have not actually played that card.
Cool.
Before. Yeah.
Well, it's not everyone's favorite go-to. I know it's your favorite, Kim.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I claimed that it's my all-time favorite.
I heard that.
Yeah. Unless somehow they make a remake team up and they make it a fat back, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And I end up getting one, I might change my mind.
Full art text list basic action card.
Yeah.
Fat back.
But yeah, I think Orbital Strike, I mean, it inches team up a bit, I think.
All right. If you say so.
Yeah, I say so. And also, dmNorthTV spoiled something.
Did they?
We did. So if you don't know what we're talking about, there may be a little teaser on Facebook, Instagram, I believe.
Did it hit Twitter? I don't think I saw it on Twitter.
It should have hit Twitter.
Maybe it did hit Twitter. I'm losing track.
So if we don't know what we're talking about, head over there and take a lookie. And that's all we're going to say about that.
Okay. That's all we're going to say about that.
Yep. But other than that, nothing else. No other major tournaments happening. I think Ministry of Dice was saying something in November.
Yeah, they usually do gaming versus cancer in November.
Yeah, I think he was doing an online and an in-person.
That is the rumor.
Yeah, so more details I'm sure will follow with that, and you'll hear it from us if we do hear anything else.
Absolutely, we will. We always like to share out what's happening in the Dice Masters community, online or in person, anywhere in the world.
And I think that's Around the World in Dice Masters.
There you go. That's the name of this podcast segment now, Kim.
Around the World. Is there a song called that?
Yes.
Around the World. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it?
That's a good actually thing for this. Around the World in Dice Masters.
Around the World in Dice Masters.
We did go around the world. We started with Canada and North America, and then we went over to Europe.
Mm-hmm. But we need some information about what's happening in Australia and Asia to really be around the world.
That's true.
So if you're out there in Australia or Asia and you're doing Dice Masters, get in touch. Mm-hmm. Speaking of getting in touch, here's all the ways you can get in touch with us. You can send us an email at triple-d-podcast@dm-north.com. You can reach out to us on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter at dmNorthTV. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/dmNorthTV. And you can also find us on Twitch, again, twitch.tv/dmNorthTV. You can also leave us a comment on our episode post on our website, dm-north.com. And until next time, on a double on dice.